Hey everybody, welcome to today's class. I'm glad everybody could make it, and for those of you who couldn't, you'll be watching this at a later date, and if you need any assistance, reach out on our chat line on the website, and we can assist you. Now I know we sent out an email yesterday asking that everybody get their trees cut in advance if possible. They can be a little bit finicky to cut because of the detail in them, but once you get those cut, then everything will go really smoothly. So I'm really looking forward to today's class, and we're going to get things going here. Emily's going to switch me over to the downward camera, and we're going to go there and we're going to start this class. So this is our card today. This is our Whimsy tree card, and I'm just going to turn it a little bit here so you can see there's 3 levels in here. And then we've got our background and our sentiment, and it is a 16-inch square card. Now I'm going to teach you how to cut them if you don't already know, from 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You can see there's a seam there. I like to put mine on the inside of the card so it's nice and clean on the outside, and people don't tend to look at that part. They're looking where you're going to write your sentiment inside. So without further ado, I'm going to run you through the materials that we're going to use today, starting with the dies that are available. So of course everyone received one of these in their kit. That's the Festive Collection Swirly Snowflake Tree by Creative Expressions, designed by Jamie Rogers. This is such a beautiful little tree. So many different things that you can do with this. It's just beautiful. And then for a background, again, one of Jamie Rogers' die cuts from Creative Expressions. This is a 2-piece background die. It comes with the outer edge. I like this die because if you wanted to just die cut the center of your card but still have a border, you just die cut it without the outer border on it. These are available on our website, and I know they're passed over a lot, but once you start using one, you're going to love it in your cards. It's a very versatile. It's CED JR071. And I think Emily's going to pull that information up and pop that into the chat. So that's available on the website as well. It's called a Circles Mandela background. It's from the Pierced collection, and I absolutely love it because it's very universal to use for so many different themes for your cards. And then our sentiments today are a Moonstone set, Festive Words and Wishes. And this one has 45 dies in it. And what's really nice is each word is separate. So you can mix and match and create sentences with it if you wanted. You can see, so it's Christmas, Happy New Year, and you just mix and match them and get the sentiment that you're looking for. Again, that was a Moonstone, and the SKU for that is M Stone 742. All right, so we're going to start today with your 2 pieces of white cardstock. I'm just going to put a color behind this so that you guys can see it. I have all mine cut already. I use my scoreboard to show you. So you're going to need 2 pieces of white cardstock. First one is going to be 6 inches by 6 inches. And this one will be the front of your card. And then you're going to do one that's going to be 6 inches. And then you're going to come 6.5 inches. And I know you can't really see the inch marks on the scoreboard, but you're going to come and you're going to cut it 6.5 one way and 6 inches the other way. because what we're going to do is we're going to score this, and that's going to be used to secure your folding seam in your card. All right, Nancy, we'll give you a couple minutes there. And if you have any issues, use your steel shim if you can. It makes a really big difference. I also find our plates for our machines, from using them all the time, I don't know about you, but I use my machine all the time. And I find there's some spots where I must tend to favor cutting more than others on my plate. So I have little, maybe it's not as level as it could be. So if you are having issues with that, try shifting your tree around on your base plate and then running it through your machine that way. And it does take 2 to 3 runs through to get that. There's a lot of intricate detail in that, and the Miri card tends to be thicker, so it's a little harder to cut. So I'm just looking here. Anybody have any questions at this point? Don't worry about you. You think you need to buy a steel shim for my press boss. Absolutely. We have them on the website. We can send that to you later. If you are looking for it, it will be under the press boss section. Or actually, send us a chat link, and we'll get that out to you and ask for it. I sent one out to another person that was inquiring about it today. So it's actually, you're going to find it. It's designed for the electric machine, the couture machine, but it works fabulously. So, oh, there you go. Emily's just dropped that in for you for the press boss. So it depends. Yes, because the other one's smaller. For those of you that have a smaller machine, there is a smaller one, and it's available as well. We have lots of those in stock. So once everybody's got their 2 pieces of white cardstock cut, get your scoreboard out, and you're going to take the 6 by 6.5 inch. You're going to put it on your scoreboard because we want to score it at the 6-inch mark. And then burst it well. And then what I like to do to fasten these together, I open it back up like this, and I like to use my 2-way tape. And I only have the one size with me in here for this. So I'm going to put 2 rows, but if you have a thicker one, just to keep it really secure, I'm going to do 2 rows, but if you have the thicker one, 1 row will work. And you want to fill that 1/2 inch space. I've tried using a 1/4 inch score for this, but it doesn't hold as well. So I've converted over and used the 1/2 inch. We're going to put this aside for now. I like to put that all together after I have completed the face of the card, and then I'll put that back together. So once we're done scoring and you've got your tape set up, you can move your scoreboard because we won't need that again. Let me see if I can set this card up so everybody can see it. Because I'm going to just show you first before we actually start the assembly. So I've used the matte finish piece, and then I've used the mirror finish, the Miri. But in between those levels, we're going to put foam tabs or strips, whatever you happen to have, to raise it up. If you don't want to do it that way, that's okay. You can raise it up from the base, from the matte finish piece. Totally up to you, whichever way you want to do it. But our next cutting is going to be, you're going to need your cutting machine, your guillotine, whatever you like to use. And we're going to cut your matte finish. So for my demo, I'm using pink. So this is my matte finish, and you're going to cut that at, what are we doing here? I gave different directions this time. We're going to cut that at 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So that's your matte, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then when you do your Miri, you're going to go down by 1/4 inch. So then you're going to do 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of time to get those cut. So I know everybody received the mandala cutout already done. I was die cutting them for our in-house class as well as the online class, and I did not have time to poke them all out, but they all poke out really easy. So at some point, if you haven't already done that, hadn't pulled your kit out, you'll need to poke all the holes out. I did my piece just before we came online to do the class. So you can use whatever poker you want. I like this plastic one that we carry here in the store, and you just poke them all out. I'm not sure where everybody's from today that's taking part in our class, but we're here in Ontario, Canada, and we had freezing rain and some snow last night, and drastic change in our temperatures. If everybody can let me know once you are finished with all your cutting, and then I'll move on to the next step for you. I made this card at home initially and was so pleased with it, and it was so cute. The hardest part is die cutting the trees out because it's tedious. You need the 3 of those, so it takes a little bit of time and effort to cut those out, but it makes such an elegant looking card. It was so beautiful to put together, and once you have everything cut out, it goes so quick and easy. Going to show everybody one of the trees. And I know in the sample card I did red Miri, but to decorate it after, if you're using any rhinestones or beads, they don't show up as well on the red. So I opted for the class to go back to the gold like I had done in my original tree that I made at home. The gold really shows it off, and I find that when you're going to put your beads on it later, the beads really show up nicely against the gold, no matter what color you choose to put on. The gold is beautiful, isn't it, Judy? Yeah. I'm a gold girl myself. I like the gold better than anything. Just nice and rich. All right. Deborah's ready. All right. So the next step, once you've got your 2 pieces done, and I'm going to stick to the instructions, I'm going to put my strips onto my Miri cardstock. So I usually just do 1 on each edge, and then I do like to put some extra bigger squares. When I'm working with a bigger space like I am with this one, the 6-inch, or nearly 6-inch, I like to put some of the bigger foam tabs into the middle. It just holds it more secure, especially because we're going to be putting a 3D effect in the middle. That one did not want to come off at all. So for those of you who are local to us, but just couldn't come in for the class, I just wanted to remind everybody, Black Friday weekend, that the store will be open on Saturday as well. And we're going to have some great specials. We're going to do warm cider and cookies, and we're going to have surprise bags. And we're going to have a make and take card station available. It will not be a taught class, a taught card making, but for a food donation, you can make a card for free, and we'll have all the supplies available to you to use. And we'll be donating all the food that we receive that weekend to our local food banks, and they're very desperate for food this year. Everyone is utilizing that much more this year, and they are very low on supplies. So we thought that we would try and help out and take advantage of having people here and provide them with a free service that they can use in lieu of donating food to the food bank. So hopefully, that's too bad, Judy, you can't make it. But you know what? You'll be here in spirit. We appreciate that. And hopefully we'll see lots of people out. So once you have your two card stocks stacked, then what you're going to do, now I'm going to use our sticky specs. For those of you who aren't aware of what sticky specs are, there's different brands on the market, but it is, I bet you can't see that on there. I don't think. Well, you might be able to catch a glimpse. They're little tiny sticky specks all over this sheet, and they are fabulous for doing detailed work. And you put wrong side down on the colored side, and you lay that down. Let the cellophane part go down on top. And then you'll push it down in place. So instead of trying to fight with the glue on this, if you can use sticky specs, otherwise use your glue. I don't think there's tape thin enough for this, but you want to make sure that you've got it all in there good. Now, these are really sticky. So you want to make sure that you get your target right, especially on the Miri, because it will mark the Miri, and I never measure, I eyeball. And then we're going to place that down. And the sticky specs adhere that really well. I have a love-hate relationship with the sticky specs because, I can't say it today apparently, and I always want to use them for my sentiments, but when you're dealing with really fine sentiment words, these ones aren't too bad, but sometimes they're really fine. The sticky specks can make them difficult to manage unless you have a well-used piece, and then it's not too bad. Next piece to go on is going to be our oval striped. So we're just going to center that on here. I'm going to use my sticky specs again, but you can use glue. You can use your double-sided tape as well. I know in the in-house class, some people even, they raise this up with their foam tabs. If you decide you want to raise this up with your foam tabs, don't put it on first. First, I'm going to get you to mount this, the tree. Just because we're going to glue this and there's 3 levels and it will require a bit of pressure to make it stick until it gets adhered well, and you can let it go. I'm going to mount it right on there. So again, I'm going to use my sticky specs. Is everybody keeping up okay? Am I going too fast, or am I not going fast enough? I always like to ask to make sure that everyone's keeping up and I'm being clear with my instructions. So again, center it. This one's a little easier to work on your centering because you've got the pattern to go with. Nope, it's stuck. You can see what I mean here because I got a little bit of sticky speck on my hand, and you can see they're on, oh, hold on, sorry. Right there, you can see right in the corner right there. Let's see if I have an eraser in here. Let's see if I can get those off the Miri. Nope. Sometimes I find you can, if you've got a little bit of a nail or just a little scraper, not a sharp edge, because that'll really scratch the Miri, you can get that up. So it's not cooperating with me today. I'll maybe put a bow on that after. I'm sure we've all done that, where you've made a mistake. You've done something, but you put so much time and effort into your card that there's no way you want to stop. So for the next step, we're going to glue our trees on. Now, what I like to do, because each one is going to be glued, and all you're going to do is glue down the center. The very back one, you can glue a little bit more. I did not. But if you want it to sit flat against your background, you can. But for the beginning, you can always go back later and do that. You can see that my star sits flat, but my base, I'm trying to turn that a little bit so you can see it better. You can see the 3 layers. So I do curl those a little bit, but the star, I like to have it sitting flat. And that'll make more sense in just a moment, because what you're going to do is pick up your tree and you're going to put your fingers down the center of the tree and you're going to gently manipulate it. You don't want to fold it in half entirely, because I don't want it creased that much, but you want to give it a gentle, just so that it'll hold its shape into a gentle V. And if some of these, sometimes you end up with a little bit of backing paper that peels off the back of the Miri, and you can just see a little bit of it. The snowflakes tend to do that. You can see in this one here, can I get that up far enough? You can see the little bit of white backing right there. So this one I'm actually going to use as my base tree. And I'm going to glue it down first. So I'm going to do much less of a bend on this one, just a slight curl. So he's going to be my base one. And then I'm going to bend this one gently again, like I did the very first one, a significant amount. There you go. That's good, Judy. Yeah, the glue is easier than the sticky specs. That's why I said I have a love-hate relationship with those. I love that they make my life so much easier and I'm not dealing with the glue. But yes, in a case like this, then I regret using them. But they're so easy. All right. Now I'm going to get my glue bottle out. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue from the star all the way down the center, right to the very base. And I am going to put glue all over the star. And then the rest of it is going to be just a straight line of glue down the center of the tree. Just like that. Now, this tree is a little larger than your striped oval. So when you're placing that, the star will be off the oval and so will the base. And then you want to secure that down. And this is one of the reasons why I like to put that extra pieces, the extra foam in the middle, because I can feel it when I'm pushing this down into place to secure it. It's keeping this whole thing level and nice, and you're not getting that sagging. So you can put the pressure on it to make sure it's secured in place. And then you're just going to repeat this with each of your 3 trees. Oh, there's a little piece that I missed. Why is it when you look at these, you think you've got everything, all your little bits out of your die cut piece, and then you find one? Never fails. I love this card. I just think it's just such an elegant looking card. Now for each layer after this, I line up my stars and my base. I'm going to make sure it's secured into place. And don't worry if it's off a little bit. You're not going to notice it once the card's done, because we're going to bend it up so that it's much more 3D than what you're looking at right now while you're putting it in place. And then once you add some decorative beads and such to it, you're never going to notice it. And once you've got that one securely in place and you're happy with it, you can take your last tree. Doesn't take a lot of glue. If anything, I think I've got too much glue on my star. Take some of that off. Again, I'm going to start with my star. Just because it's big, it's stationary, and it's easy to line up with that. I work my way down. Now, don't try to manipulate your sides of your tree yet. We're going to put that off to the side once you get all 3 levels put in. Hi, June. How are you? Yeah, it's me today. All right. Okay, so once everyone has their tree in place, we're just going to put it off to the side for now, and we're going to move on and work on a couple of other things. And we're going to let that dry, because if you try to manipulate it too soon, because it's glued onto the mirror, it'll shift. So I like to put it off to the side and move on to some other things that we have to do for the card. And once we get that going, thanks, June. Once we get that done, all the other things done, then we'll come back and then we'll be able to manipulate that and put everything together and do the finishing touches on it. I'm going to put that off to the side. And then we're going to take your leftover matte finish piece of cardstock. And then we're going to glue down your Merry Christmas, and we're going to fussy cut those out. And because we're going to fussy cut these, I'm not really paying too much attention to where I'm putting it on this cardstock. Just making sure it's stuck down good. And once you've got that down, again, put it off to the side, give the glue a chance to work, depending on what kind of glue you're using. The one I have today takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to put that off to the side. And let that dry for a few minutes. Just put my lid back in my glue. So I'm done with that for now. And then we're going to take your top piece that you scored, and then the 6x6 piece, and we're going to join those together. Now, the easiest way I have found to join these is to lay my scored piece with my tape. So the tape is facing me, and then the front of the card in front of that. And then I peel off my tape. Now pull a little bit closer, because now when I line it up, I can go by my score mark to get it as tidy as I can. And sometimes it adheres before you're quite ready for it, but you can always take it back to your cutter and you can trim it up a little bit and straighten that out. Trying to keep my head from getting in front of the camera, so I'm struggling more than normal. There you go. I'm off just a smidgen there. There you go. It's hard to see the white on white, but there's my seam. There's the front of my card. And you've got your card base. Just testing to see what my glue's like there. It's pretty good. So I'm actually gonna manipulate my tree a little bit here and bend it up a little bit more. The nice thing about this card is the tree will fold back down to mail it. So if you wanted to make one of these and mail it out to someone special, or just someone in particular, doesn't have to be special. Now you can see, got that nicely propped up. Checking my sentiment to see how it's making out. It's almost ready there. So what we can do with this now is we can add your beads to this. Whatever colors you want. Now I chose to use the little round beads. They remind me of Christmas bulbs that you would put on your tree. And there's little in the tree. You can see, let that focus for a second. Is it going to focus for me? You can see these little round sections here. And that's where I put the beads. And I do put a few just on the outer edge on the next layers down. Just a few, it just adds to the dimension. So I'm using pink and blue. My tree at home is pastel colors. I used to be a traditional red and green Christmas person. I took a leap a few years ago, and my tree is now pink. My ornaments, not my tree, is a green tree, but now my tree decorations are gold, white, pink, and actually purple, just lilac. Just to change it up, I did that for something different. Now, if you've got different size beads, by all means. These beads that I have here are just a little bit bigger than what I would like, so I'm just going to use all the little ones. I do have some off-white ones here, if I can open the package for them. I'll add some of those to it as well. All right, June, if you have any questions, reach out to us, okay? So I'm going to bring these ivory colored beads in, just because there's some different size ones in here as well, so I can use those just to change it up a little bit. That one's stuck where I didn't want it. You could put anything you wanted on here. If you've got little diamond shapes or ovals, the ovals would look like those nice dangling ornaments. If you had some really fine beads, like string beads, it would take a bit of work, but you could definitely string those and have those strung on the tree as well. I just opted for the beads. They're relatively easy to put on, and they just dress it up really nice. I'm not sure how many people follow us on our Facebook page, but I did put a poll on there early in the week. I think it might have been Monday, and asking what people would like to see in future classes. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're on our Facebook page, take a wander over and join in, and I'd love to hear your input. It is just a poll, and if you have something that you would like to see that is not on the poll already, please add it, because I love to see new ideas. I'm trying to put together our 2024 calendar, and I'm looking for input from you because you guys are the ones that take the classes. So I would like to be able to do stuff that you guys would love to do. So please wander over to our Facebook page. And if you haven't yet seen our next class, we are doing a Christmas tag class. Again, it will be in-house one week and then online the following week. I don't have my dates in front of me. It's November 30th. They're Thursdays again. November 30th, it's in-house, and then whatever the date is, It'll either be, I think, the 6th or the 7th. The week later on the Thursday will be the online. You can find it on the website. I think the code is CHRISTAG. So Chris Tag 2023. And one of them will be IH and the other one will be OL, I believe. Perfect. Yes, November 7th will be the online tag class. And maybe Emily can throw up or the codes for those, for if you haven't seen the codes yet, for anybody that would like to sign up. And the pictures of the tag are online as well. So you can see the little gems on here. If you've got brighter colored gems, they'll show up a little bit more. It doesn't show as well on camera as it does in person, but they're actually very beautiful. It just adds an element. So I just had my little elves bring in the tags to show you. So these, now, this is how I decorated them. You will be provided with supplies and you can decorate them however you like. So you'll go home with 4 tags and this cute little carrying basket. And you know, every year we do tags up for our same family members. Why not recycle them? Because they're always going to be to that family member from you or whoever else, and whoever else if you're a couple. And you can store them with your Christmas wrapping paper or ornaments. And you'll go home. The kit includes the papers to make this. You get ribbon, you get stickers, you get tags that you can cut up to add to this. Like this one here, baby, it's cold outside. You get a little book of those that will incorporate in there. Plus you get a package of 60 tags within the kit. All right. They are very pretty, aren't they, Deborah? Sorry. I quite like them. So back to our greetings, our sentiment to add to this. So mine's dry now. I feel confident that I can start working with this and not worry about it sliding out of place. And I'm just going to cut these. I'm going to change my scissors. Those ones aren't so great. I'm just going to do a simple little oval around this one. And by all means, if you have a die cut that you'd like to use to die cut them, absolutely, you can do it that way as well. Well, thank you, Deborah. It is actually, once, as I said earlier, the hardest part is cutting those trees out. The rest of it is so easy, and it just looks like, you're right, a very elegant card. This one's going to go to my aunt because she's my favorite aunt, and she gets all my special cards that I make. So when I make a really special one, that she gets it. So I always try to come up with a really nice special one just for her, so she feels like well, and she deserves it. She's an awesome aunt, and she gets the extra special ones. She's my favorite aunt. Well, and as you can see, I usually die cut because my fussy cutting is not great. Now, in my card, I did foam tab those up as well. And there's so many different things that you could do with this card to dress it up a little bit different, whether it's the colors or the type of papers that you use. But I do highly recommend that you take a look at the Creative Expression background dies. Look at them a little bit differently, because when you look at these initially, you don't think much about it, but then when you see how much it pops that tree in the card and it just makes it extra special, it gives you a chance to look at those, and it makes such a big difference in how much different they look once you incorporate them in a card compared to what they look like in the packaging. And they have so many different dies that are a background die like that are such a great addition to your die cut stash for general backgrounds. Again, your placement, that's up to you where you'd like to do it. You could do it like this. I'm going to follow through and do what we did on the card, but you could even do it like this as well. I just felt like it was balanced this way. And actually, Emily helped me. She took the second guessing out and decided where it should go. And how beautiful is that? And then the last step is mounting it onto your card base. And you can see I did not, I'm going to hold off mounting mine because, can you see? Oh, got to get my thing right. So I did not quite get it square when I mounted my front to the back. So I'm actually going to take this out when we're done, and I will trim this up and make it nice and even. And then I will mount my front to it with double-sided tape. And then it will be a nice, perfect card to add to our collection. So I look forward to seeing everybody's cards that you did and worked on today. Your background wasn't deep enough to show all the beautiful embossing and had trouble getting the circles out. Sometimes, Tony, if you put it on a piece of foam and use your poker tool like this, sorry, I have to step off to the side to read the comments. And you put your background on a piece and you push down gently like this, instead of like a downward motion, do almost sideways. That will work with that. A lot of it would have been covered up. Is it okay, Tony? Did it, or is a lot of it very visible? Until we're getting the circles out. Okay. All right. Well, I am going to sign off here today. And just a reminder to everyone, no, I did not make an envelope for the card, Pam. No, Really easy to do though. You can take a piece of 12 by 12 and fancy fold that to make your die cut with that. So I did get them all out and the embossing is visible. Awesome. Good to know, Tony. Good. Okay. Well explained card. Thanks, Pam. I appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback because even though it makes sense to me, it's nice to know that everyone, it makes sense to everyone else. So, and Emily was great in the background for us. She put all the SKUs in that were needed, and everything will be available online. And once we're all wrapped up here, you'll be able to get the instructions, the video again, and you can go back through it if you got lost partway through or fell behind, and it'll all be ready for you. So just a recap reminder, our tag class is coming up. And spoiler alert, I've already got the January class card prepped up and ready to go. So you'll be revealing, we'll show that off when we do the tag class. So stay tuned and hopefully we will see you at the tag class and you'll get to see what our January class is going to be. Everybody have a really great day. It's always a pleasure to jump on here and work with everyone. Have a good one. Bye.